Just one second.
Start these proceedings. I am appearing on behalf of the major Milord Industry Association, which is the ASSOCHEM, UK Milord, and CI. We have filed applications today morning. Lord,
If the application is not numbered, it is not registered, we'll follow what sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Mr. Rodhi, sorry, no oral mentioning in my court.
No, I'm not Milord. I'm in the matter. I'm saying. I am saying.
We have no such application on board. Let it be circulated. We'll deal with it in the normal course.
But Milord, I am respectfully submitting. If
sorry, appearing for big clients, we will not tolerate this. You have to follow the rules in my court.
But Milord, if your Lordship make an order today, my application will be infructuous. I am saying kindly defer the issue of grant of alphanumeric.
Mr. Rodhi, you are aware about the proceedings going on. You could have intervened at that stage. What is this after the judgment is passed? You want to intervene now?
No, Milord, the order is of 15th March.
No, but Milord, you are aware about the proceedings pending before this court.
But we were not parties anywhere. We were not parties at any time.
Everybody, the whole world knew that this matter was being heard.
Milord, I have no.
Back 1 second, Mr. Rodhi. You come here after the judgment is delivered. You are now, you file an application. That's not the way.
Milord, I have come only in regard to 15th March. Kindly appreciate.
No, Mr.
I have no problem in declaration of the list of donors or the list of recipients.
Mr. Rodhi will not hear you right now. We have a specific application which is on board. You ask your advocate on record to follow the procedure. File an email. It will be dealt with by my registrar listing. We'll take a. We'll get it.
No. I am saying kindly.
If I do it for Mr. Rohatgi, senior counsel, then Mr. Rohatgi, you look at me. As Chief Justice, I have no face to tell all the other juniors to whom I declined list mentioning in the morning. What sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
I am not mentioning. I am not appearing in the matter and making a submission.
We have no such application on board before us.
No, I have got it with.
I've made myself.
The entire,
I have emailed
the judgment has.
Second, you wait. One at a time. Sorry, Mr. Rodhi. Yes.
No, my submission is the entire judgment has been rendered behind the back of the public at large. This judgment doesn't constitute justificator. This judgment doesn't constitute justificator.
1 second.
Yes.
1 second.
This
One
judgment is
second.
void.
Please listen to me. You're not, 1 second.
I am a citizen of this country.
1 second.
Yes.
Don't shout at me.
No, I am very soft.
Please listen to me.
Yes.
This is not a Hyde Park corner meeting, okay? You are in the court.
Yes.
You want to move an application?
No, my lord.
File an application. What I told Mr. Rodgi applies to you.
No, my lord, the question is, my lord.
There's no question you've got.
My friend has come.
Mr. Nedumbara, 1 second.
Yes.
You've got my decision as Chief Justice. We are not hearing you. If you want to file an application, move it on the email. That's the rule in this court. No further.
We will go by what your lordship.
All, please.
Whatever your lordship says, we will go by that.
Do you want another contempt notice?
No, my lord, your lordship will go by
You have
whatever
had
your
enough
lordship
in
says.
Bombay.
Only I have said what I wanted to say. That this judgment is rendered behind the back of the people of this country. It doesn't bind us. It doesn't constitute. It is not a representative.
Do not, please, once we have said no, please move the application by email.
What your lordship says.
Do not continue and persist.
Yes, I only said it was not a representative proceeding.
You are
All the way coming from Kerala.
You are obstructing in the administration of justice.
Pardon, my lord?
You are obstructing in the process of administration of justice.
Because the entire judgment is against behind the back of these people. Parliament has been rendered
Hey,
irrelevant.
that's all. That's all. We heard that. Please, that's all. You made it.
We are in a democracy.
We will not hear you till you follow the procedure prescribed.
My lord, we are filing it.
Please do.
We are filing it.
Please do. We'll consider it afterwards.
Yesterday
That's
at
it.
10 o'clock.
I-
My friend came from Kerala to took a 1 o'clock flight. Be kind to us. Be kind to
That's
us.
all, please. We will not hear that.
Democracy.
Please call for the application. Please follow the application.
My lord, may I mention, my lord, my petition for so moto that is pending. Whatever lordship want to do, that do only. I will not disturb lordship.
Mr. Agarwala, apart from being a senior counsel, you are the president of the SCBA.
Yeah.
You should know the procedure. You have written a letter to me asking me to invoke my suo moto jurisdiction.
Yes, my lord.
No locus to mention
So
anything.
that I should not disturb
You have to
lordship.
restrict with what you
We
have
should not
said.
waste the honorable time, court's time.
Fair
That's
enough.
why.
Lord,
Only that.
These are all publicity-oriented stunts. We will not permit it.
Handmaid of
Whatever
Please,
lordship feel better.
Mr. Agarwala, please keep it at that. I may have to say something more, which will be perhaps a little distasteful.
My lord,
Please,
you are also
please close it.
members of the bar who are senior to your lordship.
It is enough now.
Also senior to your
It
lordship.
is enough.
64-year-old man, Lord.
Be kind to us, we are very polite and begging with your lordship. Your lordship don't have, use a soft language.
Tripura, we have been telling you that you are interfering, you're obstructing us.
No, no, no.
What is
No,
that?
it be said.
Now, if you don't stop, we will have to.
When we are not heard and we feel threatened. Sorry, my lord.
Follow the line.
Yes, Bala. Yes, hearing now. We issued notice on the last occasion to State Bank of India. Mr. Kapoor, you are appearing? You are appearing for
I
the,
appear.
Mr. Salve is also there.
for the State Bank?
That's right.
Yes.
But I appear for the State Bank.
Yes. Mr. Salve, in
Yes.
our order which we, in the judgment which we delivered, we had expressly asked State Bank of India to disclose all details. The language of the judgment was all details have to be disclosed. Therefore, that includes the bond numbers as well. So,
But I,
let SBI not be selective in the disclosure of details. We intend
But I-
to clarify that it shall disclose all details, including the bond numbers, and every part of the information which is in its possession and custody. Don't wait for an order of the court. We banked on the fact that the State Bank of India would be candid and fair to the court.
But I just, whatever your lordship say, if your lordship say bond numbers, you can disclose the bond number. There's no problem.
Tell us one
Somebody
thing,
can screen them. And
why has the SBI not disclosed?
I wanted to, Malad, tell my lord how we understood your lordship's judgment. Give me 5 minutes only to explain our conduct. We'll, of course, if your lordship say give anything more, everything will be given. But there's no question.
SBI's attitude appears to be, you tell us to disclose a particular detail and we'll disclose it. That's not fair process.
Malad, how we understood.
The SBI requires, this is the judgment of the Supreme Court. As chairman of the State Bank of India, I'm duty bound to comply with the judgment. I will disclose every part of the information which is in my custody as directed by the Supreme Court. Because when we said all details of the purchases, that means every conceivable detail which is available with State Bank of India. And we clarified by saying including. That should be, I mean, State Bank of India has the best legal advice open to it.
May I, Malad, take your lordship through the 3 orders, so how we understood them? Malad, your lordship's first order was 12th April 2019.
Sure.
And we have, for convenience, Malad, we have put the 3 orders together. If your lordship just see that. We'll give everything, there's no question. Just to explain that it's not that the impression which is being created, Malad, is that State Bank of India has been playing ducks and drakes with the court. I just wanted to clear that up. If your lordship sees the 12th April 2019 order in paragraph 16, but I had asked my friend to make a little compilation of the orders so we could show them easily. Your lordship has not
Yes, para 17, right?
para 16, Malad.
16, you got this?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the interim order my lords had been pleased to make. After Malad noting all the changes, the court would have to ensure that any interim arrangement that may be made would not tilt the balance in favor of either of the parties, but the same ensures adequate safeguards against the competing claims of the parties which are yet to be adjudicated. In the above perspective, according to us, the just and proper interim direction would be to require.
All right. Can we just see para 15 again, one?
Yes. The court therefore has to ensure that any interim arrangement that may be made would not tilt the balance in favor of either of the parties, but the same would ensure adequate safeguards against the competing claims of the parties which are yet to be adjudicated. In the above perspective, according to us, the just and proper interim direction would be to require all political parties who have received donation through the electoral bonds to submit to the Election Commission of India and seal cover detailed particulars of the donors against each bond. The amount of each such bond and the full particulars of the credit received against each such bond, namely the particulars of the bank account to which the amount had been credited and the date of each such credit. So, my lord, your lordships felt this would ensure transparency, that you give all this, but you keep it in a sealed cover. So, my lord, a political party doesn't need bond number. If a political party comes and says, I have received so much from so and so, that gives
But
the requisite
Salve, we
details.
take it you're not arguing a case for a political party, right?
No. On the contrary,
Appearing for the state
I'm saying the reverse. I'm so sorry. I'm saying the reverse. But if a political,
Para 16, Mr. Salve, was relating to the political parties who had to submit the data to the
correct,
to the election commission.
correct, and they have, and this has.
No, that's a separate issue. They, whatever they have declared or not declared, that's a separate issue. But as far as the judgment of this court is concerned, because you were
Yes.
also supposed to.
I'm coming in a minute. If your lordship will just give me 1 minute, how we understood it. Para 16, with, as my lord has therefore noticed, only required the political parties to give all these details. And these details have been given, my lord. If they have not been given, that's between the ECI and the political parties. As my lord, the Chief Justice said, I'm not appearing for a political party. Then, my lord, para 17 was the mechanism. Your lordship said details will be furnished in respect of electoral bonds, the details of such bonds that may be received by a political party. Up to a date for issuing such bonds as per the ministry, that is February 19, will be submitted on or before 3rd of May 19. The seal covers will remain in the custody of the ECI. So, my lord, we had no role to play. Your lordships had put this mechanism in place. In your lordship's judgment, your lordships dealt with the diverse aspects, including the need to preserve some degree of anonymity, and your lordships will not mark that in para 125, where your lordships discuss the electoral trust as a alternative to this system. And in the conclusions, which Malad are at para 218, if your lordships have the compilation, it would be PDF page 76.
Yes.
Your lordships will not say we direct the disclosure of information on contribution received by political parties under the electoral bond scheme to give logical and complete effect to the ruling. On 12th April, the court issued an interim direction order directing that the information of donation received from donation will be received must be submitted by political parties. The court directed political parties to submit detailed particulars of donors against each bond, the amount of each bond, and the full particulars of the credit received against each bond, namely the particulars of the bank account to which the amount has been credited and the date on which such credit has been made. I'm only not saying this to explain how we understood the order. So this correlation between which political party has received money from whom comes in here, because the political party says, I have received so much money from so-and-so. Then it says, during the course of hearing, Mr. Sharma said that the ECI has only collected information on the contribution made in 2019 because of para 14 indicates direction was limited to contributions in that year. Your lordship then clarify para 13 and 14 of the interim order are extracted below. In the above perspective, according to us, the just and proper interim direction would be to require all political parties who have received donations through electoral bonds to submit to the Election Commission and sealed cover particulars of the donors against each bond, the amount of each such bond, and the full particulars of the credit received against each bond, namely the particulars of the bank account to which the amount has been credited and the date of each such credit. The details will be furnished forthwith in respect of electoral bonds received by a political party till date. The details of such other bonds as may be received up to the date fixed for issuing such bonds, including February 19, May 19, will be submitted on or before May 19, and the seal covers will remain, etc. Then your lordships clarify, para 14 does not limit the operation of 13. 13 contains a direction in unequivocal terms to political parties to submit particulars of contributions received through electoral bonds to the ECI. Para 14 only prescribes the timeline for the submission on the contributions when the electoral bond should be done. In view of the interim order, the ECI must have collected particulars of contributions made to political parties through electoral bonds. In view of our discussion, the following directions are issued. The issuing bank shall stop issuance of bonds, which was done immediately. The SBI shall submit details of the electoral bonds purchased since the interim order by the court till date to the ECI, fully given, my lord. Details shall include the date of purchase of each bond, the name of the purchaser, and the purchaser of the bond and the denomination of the electoral bond purchase. All these details are given. SBI shall submit details of the political parties which have received contribution through bond since the interim order till the date of the ECI. SBI must disclose each electoral bond encashed by the political parties, which shall include the date of encashment and the denomination of the bond. Now, my lord, as we therefore understood this, the political parties have come and said, we have received so much from so and so. Are the details which we will give will make the database complete so that we have who purchased, when he purchased, and when they have got. If the numbers are to be given, we'll give them. There's no problem. So, according to us, the data.
Mr. Salve, I have a few questions. First, tell us in what format is the data on the purchase and redemption of electoral bonds stored by the SBI?
So, my lord, as I had explained in the application which we filed, because at that time we were functioning under the edict of anonymity, which had not been stayed. So, at that time we were directed to preserve anonymity, including we had to take measures that within the bank.
What is the format in which you maintain the data on purchase and redemption of electoral bonds? In what format do you
In
store
two
it?
silos. Your lordship noticed that in the next order. So the data is maintained in two
Actually, you store
silos.
it in 3 silos. From your application, it emerges now that you do it in 3 silos. The first
No.
silo is the bond number. The
Bond
second
number is
silo
only on the bond.
purchase, and the third is the
to the Election Commission, only a few of the political parties, the smaller regional political parties, some of them have
He
disclosed.
is not
the names of
addressing
the
your
tra-
lordships, he is addressing somewhere else.
The-
Kindly hear him
the-
for some time.
Correct.
So that it
That
comes,
is
my lord, in the
amazing.
newspaper
Amazing.
tomorrow, that
The-
Mr. Prashant Bhushan
Amazing.
vehemently said this. That's
Amazing.
the purpose.
Solicitor,
Pointing out
unfortunately,
something-
public interest litigation have now become publicity interest litigation.
It is
Absolutely.
publicity interest litigation.
I
It
am
is, my lord,
pointing
there
out
are some hidden agendas.
Something,
There is no doubt, my lord, and I am not, my lord, apologetic in saying.
I'm astonished.
And my lord, that is the matter of greatest concern, because judgments given, my lord, for high constitutional principles then are used for purposes other than what they are delivered. Unfortunately,
Lordships, in your lordship's majesty,
So what
would
I
not
was
know, my
pointing-
lord, what are the hidden agendas
We
behind
just
it.
dictate a short order. I
I
think,
just
we
point
are
out that
unnecessarily expanding upon
because-
the remit.
Because the major political
Just
parties
listen to the order.
have not disclosed the donor.
Just give us 2 minutes to dictate the
Therefore,
order. We'll-
what all that I'm requesting is that the disclosure of the details of the bonds should actually start from the beginning of the issue of the bonds, not